Hello everyone, and welcome to the final games of week one of the CL Jolyu League Season 2. I am Gabblit here today, casting with Dubii.
Hello there.
Hello. And we have a few matches up for you today. First off, Young Prodigies versus Madly Mediocre, and we also have Guys in Real Life versus SAS Arctic, which I'm not sure we will do. I know that they are actually playing now, not at 7:30 as it says on the stream. They decided to play their matches early, so we'll get VODs, and I'm not sure whether we'll do them tonight because setting up for VODs is kind of awkward. Um, so we might come back to that tomorrow or whenever we get the chance next. So no spoilers for that one. Uh, but yeah, we'll do a quick intro to the game, I suppose. We have Young Prodigies, who are a new team to the league, coming up against Madly Mediocre, who are one of our more established teams. They were here last season. I don't think they've had any changes since then. Meanwhile, on the side of Young Prodigies, we've had um, a whole host of new players, so definitely something to watch. What are your thoughts on these two teams, DB?
It'll be a very, very interesting matchup, as you said. We've got a brand new team coming into the league, and we've also got, our mainstays of River. The question is, though, how these players will obviously adapt to the current meta that we've got. Obviously, we've had a massive, massive shift, and it's just a question of how they've managed to deal with the changes in the past couple of weeks, and just how they'll look on the Rift.
Indeed. So I will let our teams know that they are ready to, or that we are ready. And hopefully we shall get to see the game starting up soon. And here we go. Just try and do everything at once. There you go.
So the main question, of course, here would be
Client, please.
what the priorities is for each team. We know that, of course, Joshua, who's now named as top, does like to play those tanks, but he also can flex those bruiser picks when he's needed to. So we just need to find out whether they're going to play around the mid laner or the jungler, and they might want to pick up that Malphite top, maybe even Ornn, as those two are very, very strong picks right now. We see the Samira ban, very, very pretty obvious. She's probably one of the best AD carries you can play right now.
Yes,
So yeah.
indeed she is. Along with that, Jin is another big pick. Of course, with when you do have first pick, as you can see from Young Prodigies over here, you have first pick, and I realized that the two names there are the wrong way around. I forgot to set up the client correctly. Don't worry about that.
it's just production. It's okay. It's
It's
still better
some
than
some
A. It's
production
fine.
values. We just do some
Indeed.
NA production values. I was expecting to have to do something along these lines. Um, how are these scores different? They've changed. I had set them up to zeros beforehand. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. We also see that
I
Kaiser
am
ban coming
I'm
out.
very much expecting a Kane ban, as obviously the mid laner for Young Prodigies does play a lot of that, and instead they choose to ban Yasuo. I'm really surprised no team has chosen to ban Amumu as of yet, or Kale, as those two champions seem to be a very high priority for pretty much any team, and value, even a solo queue right now, where they boast 58% rate, and there's the Kale that I expected
Yeah,
to
I
be
would
banned.
expect Amumu now to be banned. I think Madly Mediocre were probably leaving both open in the hopes you get Young Prodigies, you get to pick the first one, we'll take the Amumu, and then we'll also take another big power pick. But with
That
the Kale banned out, I'd expect Amumu to also get banned out here.
Yeah, that does leave a lot of power picks to be picked for either side, with them having to ban obviously the really, really strong champions that are in the current patch. And we've got a Z ban instead. Very interesting to see that from Madly Mediocre.
So the
And
Mumu lock in instantly. No surprises there.
no surprises there. I feel like that was a slight mistake there on the part of Mad Draft. Uh, that's one of the champions that you should definitely not leave open unless you've created some form of strategy behind it. Let's just hope that they were prepared for that one, and we don't really see a steamroll from the Amumu once he gets his two items.
So
And
Yep, Malphite, another
Malphite.
amazingly strong pick. Highest win rate mid laner after Kayle. I believe it's actually in some regions it's higher than Kayle, because it does so well into Kayle.
It
Seeing
is, from what I know, mid lane, it's probably the only pick that can actually properly lane into it and bully the Kayle out. Obviously, you've got multiple champions who could do that, but Malphite is the consistent champion that can take them down. And here we've got a Hecarim lock-in. Not sure how I feel about that into an Amumu, since Hecarim isn't the best early game bully, and obviously Amumu's early game is where he lacks his power a lot still. That's the area that you could abuse him with, and picking Hecarim, not sure if that's the best option,
so
as we get a Caitlyn Morgana lock-in. It's
yes,
pretty
so
painful.
that is a pretty painful lane. There's not too much good that you can pick into it. I wouldn't be surprised here if we did see some ADC pick coming out, seeing as two of them are banned. You might also just want to pick up the good support into the Caitlyn Morgana. You could, in theory, blind pick another lane. Looks like they will do. Malzahar is a massive pick for Christensen, so I don't think that's too
Malzahar,
bad.
yes, Malzahar is also one of those picks that's very, very good in this patch. All you need is all you need to get is the Liandry's Anguish, and then also the demonic. Is he demonic embrace? Oh no, that's Evelyn's all. I'm
Akani's
getting them mixed up.
Embrace?
I think so. Hold on, I'm very unprepared. Let me just have a
Get
look so
get
I know
all
what
of the
happens.
masks. Every mask you can see,
Just
pick it up.
Yes, just get every single mask, every book item you could possibly get. That'll be enough.
O'Neill, I am joined here by Dubii. So there you go. This screen does not actually have the casters on. I have just realised. I think it's because the order of everything on the screen got a little bit messed up, and for some reason the background is like in the foreground. I had to try and fix that. We do see Veigar ban coming out, as well as Ashe on the other side. Ashe is a classic counter pick into Caitlyn because it just tends to do fine into her. So it looks like they want to get young prodigies want to get their bot lane a really nice matchup here.
And then we also get the Akali ban to basically to stop any potential Malzahar scaling with that strong early game that Akali possesses. And now we're going to see the final ban for young prodigies, and there isn't really much they can actually ban here that will
Another strong ADC,
dominate
yeah,
them.
Jhin, there we go. I was wondering if they would ban out the Jhin, by far the best ADC you could argue in the patch. So I don't think there's too much surprise there.
With 480 carries banned off the table, there isn't many options that Mad does have right now. I would say they might be looking. And they're gonna get the Tristana.
Slug's Tristana left up. That's as well not too surprising. How Tristana's going to do into Caitlyn Morgana, that's a bit of an issue, but we know that Slugs is very good on this Tristana. He probably knows how to play into Caitlyn Morgana.
He's definitely played this matchup many, many times. It's not as oppressive as it used to be, that's for sure. However, we're yet to see what kind of support that Mad goes for. That is a lock-in. That is a Talon lock-in.
That is a very mobile champion. I'm expecting 5-man bots.
It is indeed. However, they should really pick up some magic damage, as Malphite will gain a lot of value if they pick up, whether it's a tank or even another AD bruiser. So I feel like Amumu, Silas is the last pick, and I think that's actually a really, really, really good pick there from young prodigies.
And Lissimi Roland did have his Lulu left open, so they do lock that in. Strong, solid, safe picks from the side of Madly Mediocre. Some very nice comfort picks there. They have the Malzahar for Christensen, they have Slugs on Tristana, they have Lulu for Lissimi Rolling.
I slightly don't understand this talent pick. He's into a heavy push champion that will very, very highly minimize Talon's roam being potential. So I don't understand what they're trying to do, unless they're trying to just perma roam every single lane.
Yeah, I think that possibly is part of the reason.
Especially with Silas. Talon Silas obviously can do a lot of work in a team fight. However, with Malzahar being there, I'm feeling they're gonna have to invest. At least one person's gonna have to invest in a QSS, probably the Caitlyn, maybe even the Talon. Silas might struggle in the mid game unless he gets his items. But once he's got his items, he becomes a very, very powerful champion. And I'm gonna feel very sorry for this Tristana if she gets Malphite ulted.
Yeah, Silas has some massive ults to pick up here. So that is pretty. Yeah, he has some really nice ults. You have the Malphite ult, you have the Hecarim ult. You started seeing Silas again actually in the jungle as Hecarim became meta, pretty much just because he could always take that Hecarim ult and cause massive amounts of damage and massive amount of zone
Silas in
with
this
it.
game has very, very good value. He's got 4 very good ults he can steal. Tristana ult, not the best. It's still okay for burst, but he's got very good 2 team fighting ults he can steal, and obviously that Lulu ultimate to save one of his teammates is also really good for him.
So
I do want to see though how they're going to play out this early game and mid game, especially with the fact that they've picked not a 1-3-1 comp, but they've got more of a 1-4 comp with Talon wanting to sit in that side lane, waiting for that perfect flank, whereas they've got a Silas and Mumu with a Caitlyn Morgana, more of like a little team fighting, the skirmish, where Silas can steal those ultimates, get in the backline, one-shot the backline, and allow Caitlyn Morgana to finish the rest of the team fight.
yeah, but both of these teams here, they do definitely have some very set combinations that they want to play with. In my eyes, Young Prodigy's team doesn't fit together quite as well as the other team. They have 3 champions that want to go in with the Morgana to back them up with the Black Shield. The Caitlyn, though, is a bit of an oddity. There's no real big front line apart from the Amumu to help keep her safe. Caitlyn's very good at peeling herself, but you are just kind of leaving the Caitlyn on her own against a Malphite Hecarim that might be diving into her. Whereas the whole of Madly Mediocre's team, they do have this very pick-orientated team with the Tristana, with the Malzahar who has the ultimate, the Malphite ultimate, with the Hecarim. So that's a lot of pick potential they have there, and some pretty just solid front-to-back team fighting with the Malphite and Hecarim that can sit in the front line.
I feel like Caitlyn, out of obviously the AD carries that were left, I think Caitlyn is one of the better ones to sustain that mid lane push from anybody else. She's got very good wave clear along with Morgana. They'll be able to sustain that mid lane so that the mid lane tower doesn't get taken and they lose mid prio. That is the importance in this game. Sides will fall relatively quickly, I believe, or they should. And that mid prio is going to be what the sides who has control of the river and who has control of Dragon and both Baron or Herald. And that control of river in the early game is going to be crucial as to who gets ahead.
Definitely, definitely. And we'll have to see, especially, I think the places to watch here. I don't think actually we should be seeing much coming from this mid lane. I think it's mainly you want to keep an eye on how that bottom lane is going, and especially if the top lane in some way just crumbles from either side. I wouldn't expect the top lane to crumble from either side, but you
Don't
never
think
know.
they should.
It
I think
can happen.
Malphite just needs to play out, get his items, be that strong rock that he needs to be. Amumu shouldn't be allowed to just get those 3 kills from anywhere with some of the early ganks that he could pull off. While Hecarim is obviously trying to get his level 6, get his items so he can be that strong menace, so he can go into that backline and one-shot Caitlyn or Morgana.
So room-wise, I don't see anything that's too strange. And let me swap over to the game.
No, we've got pretty standard. We've got standard keystones. Nobody's going out here trolling the game. It's pretty good to see. You know, we got an exhaust on Lulu to probably stop that Talon or Silas from one-shotting her backline.
The few I'm a little surprised about is the choice of Aerie on Malzahar, but that does show that he wants to poke a lot early into the Talon, which can be a very good strategy as long as Talon doesn't manage to level 2 all in you. If you
That
know
is gonna.
Talon is especially loves the level 2 all in. You can pretty much one-shot most champions in the game, level 2.
And as well, Malzahar, sorry, does not have many options that he can take himself. So we're just gonna. Aerie is his best choice to take, especially against a melee user, which he can abuse very much as long as he doesn't get obviously poked out in the first few levels.
yeah, the other big thing to notice as well, Amumu has the Conqueror, not one of the tankier runes, wanting to have a bit more damage in those team fights and the extra sustain that the healing from Conqueror will provide. I don't think it's a terrible choice by any means.
We're seeing a small invade right now over
Oh,
here
they're waiting
by
for
the
Lulu.
side of Mad. They don't have a lot of CC, and they are
Oh,
going to
and
be
they've
supported
caught
by the
out
mod.
the Chosen Beast here. There goes the cheese wheel. The shield has had to be used. They threw down a few abilities. They're just going to get a few stacks. They're doing the damage. 150 health on the Chosen
Diving.
Beast. Flashes away. Just about
In,
100 health. Should be able
what
to
is
live.
what is Lulu
Flash
doing?
forwards. What was
Oh my!
that?
That was variant. That was
Lulu
variant.
flashes under the tower. Forces the exhaust out from the Chosen Beast on the Morgana as well. But that was not the way to go. You got the
It
flash out
was.
from the Morgana. Be
It
happy with
wasn't.
that. She has the back. She's not going to be able to leash. That'll slow Mumu down a little bit.
It. I mean, 400 gold on the Morgana early game, and the XP off that kill isn't very helpful. Morgana did start E, so that will lower the punishment they will get in the early levels. However, that was a little bit of an overcommit. They do still have kept the exhaust, so they are coming off of this somewhat okay. So it's not the end of the world.
No, not by any means. You can see Lee Simi Roland also has that minion killing support item. Relic Shield, that's it. Um, so potentially looking less for the poking and more for just scaling up and helping Tristana for the CSing under the tower. Well, you can see in this top lane, these trades will happen pretty much all the time. Malphite will get Q off of cooldown, he will press Q, he will walk away, but here's an engage in the bot lane, level 2 hit by the side of Madly Mediocre. They jump in, put the bomb down, but they just walk out and nothing much happening there. There's a fight up in the top lane, yet again, more just slapping each other, getting each other a bit lower.
Who's going to win, Chain or the Rock?
Ooh, who knows? Well, metal is stronger than rocks generally. You would expect a chain to be able to break a rock eventually. But
Junglers
who
are doing
knows?
the standard, one of their standard clears. Abu was choosing to full clear along with Hecarim, so they are gonna come out with even CS. They do seem to be pathing topside from looking at the map, and they will probably want to contest the top side with a scuttle.
Hecarim's
Where,
player will
however,
be a little bit faster, and you can see Chapoy on this Silas is pushed up a little bit. He wants to get this pushed in so that it will reset, but he has to be quick about it, otherwise he will probably get ganked by Hecarim.
there is Silas does have a ward, so if Hecarim walks over this ward, Amumu can walk upwards, but
The gauge
yeah,
in this top lane, Red Husky going after Chapoy. Chapoy on just over 100 health. Amumu is here to back him up, but that is one dead Silas. And now Red Husky is just running down the Amumu, trying to put down whatever damage he can. Amumu does not have the damage though to finish this off. Youngskeg is walking up though. He had that push in the mid lane and is able to save his jungler. Not sure what's happening
Malzahar
with
with
the
a flash.
there. Malzahar flashing, really wants this kill on the Amumu. Of course, he
I
could
think
use
he's
that
gonna get
blast
him
cone.
with the
There's
E.
the
There we
E.
go. Husky's not. Oh, this Husky's not finished, and he's gonna take the blue away from the Amumu, and that's gonna slow him down completely.
That
This is what I wanted to see. They're putting they're putting pressure on the Amumu to make mistakes to help his lanes. Silas
Chapoy
did
is
not
here,
need to
flashes
overcommit
forwards,
for the
he's
lane.
going for this fight. Red Husky's already dead, and that's a kill and double buffs put down onto the Silas. That's not really what you want to see if you are laning into this Silas. Malphite has gone to the mid wave to try and get what he
We
can.
love the trades. We love the trades. Hey,
Cheese
Talon
wheel
goes in
thrown
on the
down,
Malphite.
tries to dodge, but he's stuck in that execution damage from the W on the Morgana. That's one down already. Christensen has absolutely no mana, no health left, and that is
That
a
is a
second
mess.
kill picked up.
That is a messy early game from Madly Mediocre. They just want to scale. They don't need to do
Oh,
all of
Red
this.
Husky, though, isn't done. Or is he just going to pick up this wave from the looks of it? Big wave has also built up in the bottom lane, but Kaiser, or iMake, yeah, we'll say iMake, is just going to be able to pick this up as it goes into tower. I don't think that the tower dive will come out here. It is a Tristana Lulu, after all, into a full health Caitlyn.
That was an unlucky series of events. Very greedy from the side of Mad to contest that blue buff. after that long fight where Silas was managed to go back in and flash forwards for that for the Hecarim for
Trait
the
in
kill.
the top lane, of course. In the long run, this is going to help Japoi more, as whatever damage he gets down will stick, whereas he has that red buff to heal himself up.
And also with levels, with items, he'll naturally be more stronger than the Malphite. Whereas, as you can see, Malzahar doing his job, just pushing waves forever.
More traits in this top lane. Japoi wants to go in
But we're
here,
looking
gets the
for an
heal,
all-in.
jumps
No, we
in, but
don't.
the spectator camera goes, no, we don't want to see this, nothing's going to happen. Thank you, spectator camera. Japoi gets
Oh,
level 6, takes the Malphite ult.
he isn't.
Oh
He
no,
is not gonna go for the all-in.
top is level 4 here. Oh, for people who don't
This
know,
looks doomed.
top is Joshua, still the same top laner for Madly Mediocre, he just used a name change. Red Husky here going in onto the Morgana. Amumu's also on the dragon, fairly low, actually uses the ultimate to get away because he sees the teleport coming down. Slugs meanwhile is going onto Imake, backed up by Lee Sin rolling, but they're on their own. He jumps over the wall onto Imake, Imake flash and heal to try and get away. Meanwhile in the dragon pit, Amumu is picked up there. You see that the Slugs does also manage to get the kill on the backside. The dragon is secured by Red Husky. Japoi tries to go in to get that kill. He's healing as much as he can, but it's not quite enough. Slugs is just free hitting from inside this dragon pit, picking up all of the kills. Young Skung now in a 1v3. There's nothing he can do there. Absolute disaster for the side of Young Prodigies, as what looked like it would be pretty good for them turns on its head.
They lost a 4v5 fight with a Silas with Malphite ultimate. They cannot play like this.
That was two of their members being half health, being almost instantly taken out of that fight, and Slugs just
Slugs just pulling his weight in that fight, taking that triple kill, nearly quadruple, but stolen by Lee Sin rolling at the very end. However, 5v4, they should not be losing fights like this, especially with Silas holding Malphite ultimate.
And that did end up in about a 2,000 gold swing. They Madly Mediocre were 500 gold down. They are now 1,500 gold ahead.
I'm just hoping the more of this game, because if the game is going to be turning like this the entire time, we're going to have a fantastic time. At least we are. I don't think the players will.
And the Cloud Drake was also picked up by the side of Mad. Red Husky did manage to secure that during that extended fight.
I should be eating my words right now. I was talking about how good Amumu is, and obviously Young Prodigies are doing me dirty a little bit.
The ult is put down in the mid lane onto Young Skeng. He's doing what he can, but he manages to just turn it around, pick up Christensen. Top was there. Ultimate was not quite in time to save the life of Christensen. And it will be a 1-for-1.
That was a very risky ultimate, trying to predict Talon's movement, but it worked out as they got that return kill onto him as well.
Red Husky now wants his 1v1 against Japoi. He does have the double buffs. Japoi doesn't. Ultimate used, stolen and used. The Spanish toss does miss from the Amumu. He has to use the ultimate to save Japoi's life, but the ult comes out from Red Husky. Unstoppable Onslaught will pick up that kill, and he will just walk out through the jungle. Meanwhile, we get to see this bot lane on ward action. Everyone wants to see wards die. Red Husky, meanwhile, looks like he is just going to execute himself, realizes there's probably no way out.
As I was talking about how Amumu's making me eat my words, he makes another bad play. That Q should have hit, but of course, he's missed it and missed a free kill on the Hecarim. Now Hecarim holds a bounty that should be prioritized by the team. We need to see a bit more Talon roams, especially on that bot lane. Talon roam maybe with the Amumu coordinate to get that bot lane behind.
Dark Binding does go down onto Slugs. They're putting down the multiple headshots. Slugs goes in though, the Lulu ultimate, getting the double knock up. Imake is on almost no health. They do pick up the kill onto Slugs though. Nice layering of the CC there from the side of Young Prodigies.
The exhaust came in clutch for Young Prodigies there. Placed right on the Tristana, stopping her from finishing off the Caitlyn. Very, very, very good binding to start the fight off. And very courageous from...
Ultimate thrown down in this mid lane though. Yet again, Young Skeng and Christensen doing the fighting. Young Skeng though, you can see he almost 100-0 Christensen in one combo. Christensen having to flash to keep himself alive. And that's why you pick Talon. It's just brutal. The flash forwards into the bandage toss, flash from the Talon to just pick that up. Jipoy is trying to get away in this top lane. Does take the Unstoppable Force and uses the Flash Malphite
Mouth.
ultimate to get out. Top is just tanking this tower. Clean tower dive from the side of Madly Mediocre there, picking up another kill onto the Hecarim. This Hecarim is definitely at a point where he could potentially carry this game. Although,
He's
a little
definitely
bit
getting
caught
very
out.
fed.
Banish toss down onto Red
He
Husky.
doesn't
He's
have ult.
trying to turn it around, puts down the freezing smite, and is just walking away from this one. We'll have to
Malphite has
dodge the
TP. He
bandage
might
toss.
TP to help his
Doing what he
teammate. He
can.
will, but
TP is coming
too
down.
late. Too late for the TP.
There is
And
no unstoppable force. It was the double TP actually. Christensen also here. Looks like they are looking for this kill. They can see where Young Skeng is, but he will just jump out over that wall, going after the Amumu now, but Amumu will
it was
be
a
able to
very
just walk
ambitious
out.
TP from both of them. They both have no flash.
Oh,
no
but
ult.
another engage in
I
this
wouldn't
bot
know what
lane.
they want.
Slugs wants to try yet again onto iMake, puts down a lot of damage, and they turn onto Chosen Beast, now putting them both to just under a quarter health.
When have we seen Caitlyn Morgana lane to be bullied this hard?
Yeah, it shows how comfortable Slugs is on that Tristana, that he knows when he can jump in and when they can win those trades. Dark Binding goes down onto Slugs. They do get a little bit of damage put down. That is important. It helps dissuade the potential tower dive. Meanwhile, Japoy will push Top and Christensen off of this Herald. You can see Red Husky is starting up this Earth Drake towards that bottom lane. The Earth Drake is extremely good when you're into an assassin. Every bit of armor and MR you get can make a big difference. Ooh, Youngskeng maybe in a bit of a trouble here. Banish Trust goes in from Amumu into the ultimate. The Tristana is down already. Simi Rolling has absolutely no mana. Chosen Beast on no health either. Does get picked up. Red Husky is doing what he can, but he steps on the trap, gets headshot and taken down. Youngskeng now also very low. The Amumu is doing what he can, but he just can't pick up the Lulu. Christensen keeping his support alive. Japoy is here though. Will he decide to try something? Cheese Wheel goes down, slowing the Silas. He steals the ult from the Malzahar. Knock up into the kill, and that's one more picked up. 220 gold down into the Malphite's pockets.
Again, fight was very, very promising this time for Young Prodigy. Amumu got a fantastic ult. MM was baited into that talent after he E'd over the wall. Not sure why he did it. Not sure what he was looking for exactly. Whether to steal a dragon from a Hecarim with smite. Not the best idea. It would have nearly worked out for them, unfortunately. MM picked up very valuable kills at the end of that fight when Caitlyn and Talon couldn't continue anymore.
Yes, Red Husky is now doing the Rift Herald. Spectator Account wants to show us this Morgana attempt to CS. No, it's gonna cut us some slack. Move away from that.
I think it would have been better if that Morgana right then and then would have tried to pull wave away from tower, so that once Young got back into lane, yes, he could have been able to CS more of that wave, get a bit more gold in his pocket, basically funnel more gold into him as he needs it right now. He is going to be that primary.
Picked up and immediately thrown top. The tower is
going to go
low.
Down.
Japoy, realizing what's going on, decides to back away from the tower. Says, you know what, I'm not going to let that tower go down and you two kill me here. Christensen has come up to help them out. They're just going to steal away what they can from the Amumu's jungle. They might find him here on the walls.
At this point on, I have a feeling the Young Prodigies. It's an
Dark
odd
Binding in the bot lane. Slugs does jump forwards, but nothing really. Wild Growth is used, and then there's double ultimates going down in the jungle, trying to get Young Skeng, but he uses that jumping over the wall or that parkour to get away. Now Red Husky is trying to turn it around onto Amumu and
still
Silas.
Has the ultimate. He ults.
And there's the Amumu ultimate goes down. Red Husky, though, is just life-stealing his way up. He is eventually taken down by Japoy. Top was trying to do what he could, but he doesn't have the lifesteal. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we can see Slugs is going, and Lee Simi Rolling have somehow managed to make it onto iMake and Chosen. The Chosen is now also very low and will get picked up. That is a double kill into the pockets of this Tristana. This Tristana is absolutely huge.
Not sure what that bot lane was trying to do there. They know their map play is behind. They know their top laner needs time. They know their jungler needs time. They don't They don't need to create hero plays for the team to carry them or anything. They just need to scale appropriately to be able to assist their team when it's most needed to. And this point on, Justana's just getting too big. Malphite's just getting too tanky. There might not be a window that they can get back in this game.
Yeah, you can see the gold lead has ballooned now to about 3,000 to the side of Madly Mediocre. And most of that gold is spread out quite evenly around the team. Most of it is concentrated onto Hecarim and Tristana.
I'm being flamed in chat. Apparently I sound 10. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I'll take that with dignity.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. I will not disclose my actual age because that will just make it worse.
12. Oh. Anyway, we go as the game continues. We can see that the dragon is spawning in 40 seconds. We have rolled that Infernal Drake. No oceans today. Ocean 2 OP. Let's not have any of those. Red Husky is going in on this bottom lane though. Does put down the unstoppable onslaught. He does put a lot of damage down, but he is now in the 1v4. Nice bandage toss from the Amumu here. The CC is being put down, but Red Husky just cannot die on this Hecarim. Ghost also goes down. He puts a lot of damage in before he will eventually get taken down. Youngskeng putting down a lot of damage and coming out. Slug's doing what he can, using top and the CC being put out, but Stunner is down. It's just top and Lee rolling left to try and fight this 2v3. Lee rolling doing what he can to help, but now he's just left on his own in a 1v3. There's nothing much that Lulu can do here. Flashes over the wall to just get out of that fight. And that will be the dragon.
This is the power of Amumu plus Silas with a Morgana. Amumu just hits one bandage toss, stacks that Conqueror, gets in the middle of that entire team, pops the ult, and that's all he needs to do, and just stand there with his W1 and he'll shred every single one of them. Silas with that TP coming in to help the rest of his team. Not sure what the Tristana was trying to do with that forward flash to try and finish off a kill. However, definitely didn't work at that point, and Talon with that insane damage as well after his ultimate, after getting ulted by Malzahar.
Yeah, that has been happening constantly. The Malzahar ult out from Christensen, and then Talon just turns it around, almost one-shotting Malzahar every single time.
Hecarim also Red Husk is very, very eager to win that team fight, to secure that third dragon for his team. Unfortunately, very much backfired, but obviously they'll get another go at the dragon. And knowing this in this game, anything will happen. At this point, anything can happen.
Could happen, yes. That is another 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, Red Husky going in on this, does use the unstoppable onslaught, but a nice buffer from Youngskeng to get over that wall and just out of danger there.
They are losing more and more pressure by the second on the side of Young Prodigies. is doing very, very well to retain the map pressure they have, so they can continue to take objective after objective.
Do drop that middle turret. Looks like they will also go for the second one here.
There doesn't seem to be an answer, but they will back off because they obviously don't want to succumb to that Silas ultimate that he's stolen from Malphite and a Moonwalk. That is a devastating combo that they do not want to be a part of.
Chapoy seems to want this fight. I'm not sure he actually wanted to hit that. He's taking a lot of damage. The Malzahar ult does go down. Lots of damage being put down onto the Silas. The Black Shield will keep him alive through the last bit.
They're not going to commit the Malphite ultimate for that.
They
probably the better call. But
do you get the Malzahar ult?
Oh, the pinging the Baron. However, Malphite seems to be wanting to go to that bottom lane. He does want to go to that bottom lane. Malphite is still level 10. He is nearly going to be the lowest level on his team without.
11.
He's not. Oh, he's now 11.
Just
finally turned 11. And they might get the Rift Herald before Baron spawns, and yes, they do. That's a very quick pickup. Young Prodigies was not ready for that. They wouldn't
have much time to do that. iMake is trying to push in this middle lane, but realizes that Madly Mediocre could be coming down to him.
And now I'm just going to expect, the classic shove mid back and forth between both teams. Malzahar decided to stay mid along with Talon, and it seems like the bot lane will split and the Mad Mediocre bot would go top, and Young Prodigy's bot lane or Caitlyn is going to go bottom. I'm not sure that's the best move for both of the teams
No.
right now.
Well, the side of Madly Mediocre here can use this to pressure the Baron. As soon as they see Caitlyn in that bottom lane, they know Caitlyn has no way to join. They could just force the Baron and try and force a team fight. They know that there won't be any Caitlyn there. Instead, they move towards this mid lane, drop the Rift Herald.
Once Caitlyn shows in an opposite lane over the mid lane, mid lane is very hugely affected because now she has no towers to safely clear wave and scaled in this game. Talon needs to be in the side wave because at this point in the game, he doesn't get any reward from just sitting mid lane and farming waves. He needs to be able to look for that flank, look for the opportunity to pick off Snails or Lee rolling so that he can win the fight for his team. Sitting mid lane will not do that for him at all, and obviously right now they're very, very scared of the potential Baron from Mad Mediocre, with the constant pings that we can see onto Baron.
Yeah, there is also the dragon spawning in 45 seconds. Malzahar ult is taken. So
Yes,
Silas.
looks like we're going to be A-ramming this game. Young Prodigies seem to be set on that strategy. Feel like they've got the best chance to stick mid, and they are recalling though. Amumu was just channeling recall, probably noticed the timer on the dragon, thought it's going to be a bad idea. They have no vision. They have no vision on the dragon or around the dragon. Madly Mediocre is controlling the river very, very well. Oh, that is a
They forced the
defensive ult.
unstoppable onslaught out from the Hecarim.
There was definitely probably some concern for that Amumu bandage toss coming through. He didn't want to get locked down for too long and getting blown up and possibly losing a second dragon for his team. They do give up the control of the river for some reason.
Now, will they fight this? Dragon on 4,000 health, 3,000. Hecarim is coming in, 1,000 health on the dragon. They try and steal it, but it is secured. The Malzahar ult does go down onto the Hecarim, and it's used back onto Silas, but interrupted by a Mumu, and this is going absolutely terribly for Madly Mediocre. The backline is just not able to do anything. They can't hit who they want to hit. Lee Rollin is now left to try and get out of this fight on his own, being chased down by the Talon.
That was a huge team fight by Young Prodigies. They're just going to move on straight onto that Baron. It's just Snails and Lee rolling left. They got out with... Well, Snails got out with sliver of his HP after that fight. That was a very, very poor engage from both Husky and Malphite. Got a very, very lovely ultimate onto that dragon with 3 people sitting at that dragon pit. However, it wasn't enough. Silas managed to get on to that backline along with Amumu with that flash ultimate, and the fight was just simply over.
I want you to imagine the difference there if Hecarim had his ult up as he got towards that dragon, was able to ult onto the dragon and get into smite range. That
would have put us to soul point possibly for one team. And
Slugs does try to steal that. He is just auto attacking down.
And now
though. Lulu ultimate is used. Will keep the Tristana alive, only just. Tries to heal up with the auto attacks.
That was a very good play there. Don't know what Amumu was thinking there. Queuing back onto him.
He
probably
did
maybe
very almost get the kill. It was the Lulu ultimate, the Wild Growth did just about manage to save Tristana. Potentially, if the Chosen Beast had actually walked up there as well, could have walked in, used the ultimates to help secure that kill. It's quite a big bounty on the Tristana.
I'm yet to see a very aggressive Caitlyn ultimate to poke any one of the members of Madly Mediocre, whether it's sitting in lane farming, pushing those waves. Oh,
nice block from Christensen. Looks like we might be getting another team fight. The unstoppable force used onto Japoi. Japoi gets a nice ultimate back, hitting 3 talons onto Lee Rollin, but Lee Rollin does stay alive. Slugs is just free hitting, manages to pick up 1. Red Husky meanwhile takes another. Slugs does jump in, but decides to back off there. And Mumu is now trying to walk them down. Does use the ultimate, is slowly getting that damage over time down onto the backline. Will he manage to finish one off? He does pick up the Lulu before being taken out. iMake now is just left to try and 1v1 Slugs, but Slugs gets the drop on him, and that is
And
Win.
we're just going back and forth constantly. Young Prodigies win a team fight, Mad Mediocre take it back and win another team fight. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst Baron power plays that we've seen so far this week from any team. Taking Baron, then immediately getting Ace straight after. It's not probably what you wanted to do. They're still yet to take a tower this game, but they're not very behind. They're only 4k gold behind. They could still probably pull this back, but I don't see what Talon could do at this stage of the game, unfortunately, against that team. There's one good thing though. Hecarim will, I mean, soon, probably in 10 minutes, will start falling off in this game. He's still very, very powerful, and they can still very much take the game over from this point. But
He does have a bit of an interesting build. If anyone had not noticed, he does have the Ravenous Hydra. I've not seen that before on Hecarim. I don't know if that's a new thing.
You see, I can't call Boris because I don't even know what's the best builds for everybody right now.
Yeah, it's kind of
the
impossible.
preseason patch shook everything up, and I can't even complain about Boris anymore.
I felt like you want a bit more of the sort of health and tanky stats, but who knows? Maybe this is a new meta build we've just not seen before.
Seems to be working somewhat for him. He is dying quite often, but obviously he's got his team to pick it back up for him. From what I know, Trinity Force is still the preferred option, of course.
Oh, they found Chosen Beast here, but he does just use that Black Shield to get himself out. Unfortunately, iMake on the Kai'Sa now is just out of position. Not much he can do. And he will eventually get picked up here. They give the kill over to Red Husky, just putting more gold into the pockets of that Hecarim.
I wonder how many overall kills we can hit this game at this point on.
Oh, I still feel like we
We're
could have
3
a
kills
lot
away
more.
from 50 kills, and we haven't even hit 30 minutes yet.
Indeed, we have not. Both teams sitting on 2 Drakes. This next Drake will be important. It will put one team away from Sol by just 1 Drake, potentially 5 minutes. Looks like Madly Mediocre are first onto the hit here. Top is just zoning off that backside, so they will be able to finally pick up that Infernal Drake. Don't have to team fight for it this time.
Now, Young Prodigies of Sam obviously are going to concede that one, as they can see.
Red Husky does get hit by the Dark Binding, but there's the Ravenous Hydra healing him up.
Red Husky has no fear. He is just going to go all in on anybody he sees. Now, that has probably killed him a few times this game, but
he's just limit testing, checking that the Chosen is paying attention with those Dark Bindings and those Black Shields. Madly Mediocre pushing in this top lane as 5. They don't have the side ward, so they could get flanked. Talon is on the flank here, but you can see the zoning here from Top and Red Husky, keeping Talon away from the carries. Lisimi Rolling might be caught out here. There goes the unstoppable force that was stolen. Lisimi Rolling already down, but it's an absolute turnaround. A Mumu ult comes down. They managed to get one of the carries. Christensen is left alive, but he just managed to get out. Red Husky has picked up the Caitlyn on the backside, and it's left in a 2v2 between all of these teams, and Mumu is left up now to try and win the 1v2 against Red Husky and Top, but he won't quite manage. He does get Red Husky in the end there, and it's left a potential 1v1 between a Mumu and Malphite.
Nah, Mumu's not going to take that. That was the best case scenario Young Prodigies could have taken for that fight. That was very, very messy from both sides, and I feel like Mad lose a lot by doing this. This is an obviously not needed fight. With Baron coming up, they could have set up a vision line, waited and baited them in to check that Baron, while obviously trying to take it, sneak it, and then if the enemy showed up, you can turn and kill them with the amount of power that you possess as a 5v5 teamfight team. And Lee Sin really getting caught out there with his summoners and ultimate off. Unfortunately, I think he might have used his ultimate. I don't remember. I've got a terrible memory. But
I'd assume he used it on himself, but
that was the catalyst to start the fight. Lulu just getting too close to the enemies, especially when the Silas steals that Malphite ultimate. They get a lot of power from just that one ultimate in one go, and Ad needs to be very careful whenever that happens.
See, Madly Mediocre do actually have the triple red trinket. They're definitely trying to keep this vision in their favor as much as possible. Just try and make sure that young prodigies can't see what's going on the map. However, they do have some nice wards still left up.
I do not understand the role of Malphite currently, as of course lane assignments go. He's currently just roaming the jungle, sitting still. He's lacking in levels. He's lacking in gold. He's gonna sit on these 2 items for a very long time. If he doesn't,
Red Husky is caught out. It has to use the Unstoppable Onslaught to get away, but Lee Simi Rolling gets picked up on the backside. The teleports are coming in. Christensen is trying to get here to help out with the fight, and there is the Unstoppable Force coming out from Malphite. They do pick up one. The Nether Grasp is used onto Amumu. They pick him up as well, and now Young Skeng is left almost to die, but he does pick up the Tristana on the back half. Yet again, just another massive team fight.
Scrappy fights again. I don't know what Talon was doing at the very end of that. He walked towards the Tristana, ulted after the damage was dealt, and Tristana dies with his summoners still up.
Yeah, I don't think he quite expected
the amount of burst coming out from that Talon. However, we do have to remember it is a Talon, it's an assassin. He is going to one-shot you within a second. Lee Sin getting caught out again, nearly costing his team the fight there.
Well, that was Red Husky getting caught out.
Red Husky
Rolling tried to stay in range there to put down the wild growth if needed, speed him up if needed, and he just got caught out by the hijacked. Yes. Well, it's the hijacked Hecarim ultimate.
Hecarim ultimate, then Amumu ultimate caught him at the very edge. That's why they were able to pick that kill up, when Husky just managed to escape barely with his life at the end while getting back in, though, to eventually die. However, they're going to look for this dragon now.
Taking a lot of damage.
He doesn't have TP.
Another dog binding onto Lee Sin Rolling. He is left on his own. Flashes away from the bandage toss, which does hit onto Red Husky. Young Skank is in the backline, goes onto Slugs, tries to assassinate him, but he manages to stay alive. He is just getting out of that fight. Meanwhile, Red Husky and Top are fighting. There's just too much fighting going on. It's all over the place. They're onto Lee Simi Rolling. They manage to take him down. Slugs is free hitting, though, trying to pick up these last few kills. He does stay alive, and they do get the kills there. Meanwhile, on the back half, Red Husky does get taken down. But that is all that really happens. Amumu does turn it back around onto Christensen now. Will just walk him down. That damage over time.
1v9 in the team fights right now.
800 gold. Amumu is now at the point where he has become Amumu, Destroyer of Worlds.
Amumu's online. He 1v1'd Husky. Husky with that fantastic hit with his ultimate onto the Chosen Beast, deleting him from the fight completely, but at the end, unfortunately at the end, he didn't survive his life. They lose Dragon. That's third Infernal for Young Prodigy. That's going to empower that Amumu even harder. Right now, they obviously struggle to kill him right now, and he's dealing tons of damage. Caitlyn is scaling very nicely as well. There's a lot of threat on this Young Prodigy's team, and I feel like this game could go anywhere within the next few fights.
Yeah, that's those Infernals. I believe that makes 12% extra AD and AP. That's a sizable amount.
That is, one good Silas mouth alt placed could end the game for Young Prodigies. But looks like they're going to try and sneak the Baron. There are wards. There are wards everywhere.
They've not been spotted inside the pit yet. I think Lee Simi Rolling will have been spotted doing those auto attacks now, so they definitely do know. But it's already low.
Split pushing.
3,000 health left. The ultimate does go in. 1,000 health on the Baron. It's really low. Smite does come down from Red Husky, and it is secured. The flash forwards into the ultimate from Amumu. He's trying to win this 1v5, but that's just too much damage, and he doesn't have the damage of his own.
That was very, very int. That's all I'm going to say. That was very int from both.
Interesting gun. Red Husky now really feeling himself. Wants to go in. He is level 17.
Once there is no Amumu, Hecarim just has that power to just go all in on that backline. He has no threat on him whatsoever. They can just waltz into the base right now, take that inhibitor that they opened up so many minutes ago.
Yeah,
they can look for an end here, actually.
Yeah, they really have to look for the end here or choose to take their backs. There's no other waves they're going to get in either of the other lanes anytime soon. Looks like they will go for the end.
They have Tristana damage on that tower. That tower's going to go down very quickly.
That's one tower down. the wild growth is forced out from Lulu. Slugs jumps into 4 people, tries to get away, but he's already dead. What was that?
That I can only use one word, and that's int again. He was trying to hero that victory for his team. He was trying to make that amazing play. He was trying to wild turtle his way to victory with that W forward. Of course, unfortunately, it didn't work for him this time. He gets taken down, and the game's going to get prolonged again. We're sitting at we're going to sit at 35 minutes. We're going to wait till next dragon, probably, and we're going to. I mean, the Soul's probably going to decide. I mean, if Souls doesn't decide this game, then I don't know.
Oh, but here's the
will.
turnaround. Top does have 2 more members of his team here. That's a lot of damage being put down. Redemption also comes down. Polly did go down onto the Amumu. He gets his ultimate out, but it's not enough.
At the very end, just before he dies,
Japoi walks out on a sliver of health.
I don't know what Japoi was doing. He was in no place.
Dark
He shouldn't be there in the first
there.
place.
Meanwhile, Red Husky and Christensen just split pushing here. Will probably manage to get another tower. Looks like they want to go in for this fight. The Black Shield was a nice one to help keep iMake topped up on health. He's putting down what damage he can. The Chosen chooses to stop Watch, but will just get picked up there by the Malzahar, locking himself in place. You can just see there's not much damage left on the side of young prodigies. The Talon has really fallen off by this point. The Silas is doing what he can, and the Caitlyn's doing what she can, but
I think the game is just simply over. Mad
as
have taken the game, and well,
Madly Mediocre take game 1. And there you go. Game 1.
Very scrappy. That was very
over to the side of Madly Mediocre. So, I'll let people see the stats in case there's any particular stats they want to use. I don't know.
Don't worry, Zedrus. My toxicity is not biased. If my team played like this, they'd be getting more slack. So, even if I played like this, I'd be hoping I'd get the slack like this, because this game's just all over the place. You know, fights, poor fights from both sides on dragons. However, young prodigies obviously couldn't take the end. Their comp simply just fell out of place. As you can see, the Amumu doing the most damage. Thank you for the very nice name pun there, Mr. Oldie. That meme is not going away. It's probably never going to go away. But I think this was just a major comp issue. Young prodigies were very, very good at trying to come back into the game, but the problem was there. Like their comp was not suited for what they were trying to do. They were trying to look for that 5v5 good fight with the Amumu ult, with the Morgana ult, with the Silas stealing whether it was Malzahar, Sekrum's, or Malphite's ult, and then there's just Talon, who didn't really fit into that place. He never really shined where he should be, which would be in the side lane, looking, as I said, I've been saying this all game, I probably sound like a broken record, but he should be looking for those flanks so he can take down, whether it was the Lulu, whether it was the Tristana, whether it was an out-of-place Malzahar as well. And they just didn't do that. And I think that's where the game really, really went away from them. They had some really key, good fights with the Amumu, and they never capitalized on the advantage they got from those fights.
Yes, and talk us through, who do you think should get the MVP from each team? Well, I'm just setting up the next lobby.
Oh, that would be very difficult. I do feel like it's very hard, as every player has made some sort of blunder in that game. I have a feeling. One sec. I have a feeling though. Snails could be considered the MVP. He played the 2v2 very well. He played a lot of the fights very well, apart from a few ints. And in my opinion, I think he should be the MVP for his play. For his play in that game. For young prodigies, it's very difficult to say. I don't think a single player really stood out. I think the Amumu tried to do what he best could, but he didn't really shine either. I would feel the Silas also tried, but there's too many mistakes on his part. I couldn't really call an MVP from young prodigies. I think they all played among the same level. I think the Morgana Morgana probably stood out the most, in my opinion, actually. Morgana stood out the most with her bindings. Some of the picks that she was able to create for the team were crucial in that game. That nearly allowed them to come back into this game. That's my opinion. I think the Morgana and on the side of Young Prodigies and Snails on the side of Madly Mediocre.
Yes, I think you could definitely argue for both of those. I do think Amumu was also doing very well on the side of Young Prodigies. I think Silas was also doing whatever he could. He was using the ultimates when possible. There were people getting picked, but that was happening all over the place and from both
It was
sides. So there's
it
not
was
too
not
much
a
you can
clean
say
game.
on that front. Not the cleanest
It,
game, but a very close game. And that will lead into a very exciting game too, where we'll have to see if the change in side will affect anything.
I'm really, really hoping that Young Prodigies fix their draft. The draft, in my opinion, was a lot of the problems, but the execution was a bigger problem. The draft would have worked, but I've already stated all the issues that what they could have done in that game. They have to both teams, in my opinion, have to work on the lane assignments. They have to look who has the advantage of splitting on the opposite side of the map. Make sure that Malphite that top lane, make sure Joshua or top doesn't get behind by roaming with his team too much. Same thing for Young on the other side on Young Prodigies. We're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see how this game plays out, and uh, hopefully, as we see, someone says Talon. I mean, they can pick the Talon again as long as they play it better. That's just my opinion.
I think if they pick the talent again, I'd like to see a lot more roaming from it and try and get those side lanes ahead. We could have had a very different game, especially if, say, that Caitlyn Morgana had managed to get ahead of the Tristana Lulu and really exerted the pressure that a Caitlyn Morgana really can. In terms of what we want to talk about for potential bans in this game too, I think if you're red side, of course, you are pretty much obligated at this point to ban either a Mumu or Kale or both. Uh, well, it
I
depends
really,
if you can play it, if the enemy can play it, of
I
course.
really
But
feel like MM don't fear the Amumu anymore after that game. They're just gonna straight up not ban that. They're gonna leave it. They're gonna leave it to red team and be like, hey, you're either gonna ban it or we can pick it and we'll destroy you on it. We'll show you how it's played. They can do that, or they can go back to this Hecarim that proved to be a very, very decent pick and very strong pick for the team, who allowed for these early picks to be made, allowed for the lot of damage to put on the back line, and then we'll see. Then we'll see maybe a better answer towards this Hecarim. There may be a Malzahar ban, or maybe even a Malphite ban, possibly, since Malphite did prove that his ultimates were very, very strong in that game. So is Malzahar's. But I will be expecting at least another ban situated towards Snails. Maybe they're going to ban his Tristan out. Maybe they feel like it was a bit too strong. Maybe they'll ban the Lulu. Maybe they keep the same bans. But I would like to see them um, either ban the Amumu themselves, maybe ban Amumu Tristana, and just work and try to counter what MM might do in this game.
um, yes. So, for those in chat who are just joining, Madly Mediocre have won game one from the red side, so they will be blue side for the second game, and we'll see if Young Prodigies can manage to pull it back and make this tie this up 1-1, or whether it will be a 2-0. We're just waiting for the players to come and get into lobby.
Just waiting for Skeng again. He's probably reading some guides on how to play Silas better. Um, on the internet just to get ready for the game, and there he is.
There he is.
I don't mean no flame though. I probably couldn't play a better Silas, so this is just all funs. I don't mean to attack other people, just to make that clear.
Yes. So we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I would quite like to see a Tristana ban coming down, maybe a Malzahar ban coming down, because it is something that Christensen is very comfortable on. Try and force the side of Madly Mediocre onto some things they're not quite as comfortable on. If you're Madly Mediocre, I think you just try and get one of those real power picks for yourself, because you are blue side now. You can pretty much force bans out of the side of young prodigies if you would like to. So we'll have to see if that is what
I am going to
will
expect a
happen.
Kaiser ban once more, obviously aimed at the AD carry of Young Prodigies from Madly Mediocre's side. They will want to take that away to make sure that he cannot play his optimal champion, so that they have obviously the better chance of winning by putting him on something he may not be as comfortable.
Yep, and as we go back into the game, I have not changed the teams around because NA production values. Let's go.
And a production value. We see the Z ban once more
There we go.
directed towards that mid lane of Young Prodigies. We seem to have a lot of Yasuo, Yone, and like Z mains in the league. So we do see these bans quite often. However, Z is probably one of the stronger mid lane assassins in this patch. So we might see a run back of the talent, but there's also the Lulu ban, which is what I expected somewhat to come out. You know, the Lulu was very strong. Maybe they don't feel like the Tristana was the problem in that lane. Maybe they feel like it was just the Lulu powering that Tristana up so that they could force those 2v2 fights whenever they want.
As for what I know, Lee Simi rolling has a fairly small support pool, Lulu being one of the better ones in his support pool. So definitely banning that away from him should take some power out of that bottom lane, potentially make the lane something will find easier to abuse, and definitely will stop the Lulu from creating these situations where she's saving people with the polymorphs, with the wild growths. Outside of Madly Mediocre, they are just banning out these AD assassins.
AD assassins do be a problem right now in this patch. However, tanks are also very, very strong, so they can mitigate a lot of this, the assassin potential, especially if a team decides to pick Talon mid. One of the best counters to probably pick into it would be Malphite, since he's very, very strong, and he is very strong in the mid lane as well when he builds tanky. I do expect to see another, and there's the Kaiser ban. I expected that one, and I do expect to see a tank coming out from top one more time. He was very, very solid on that, and he will. And there's the Malzahar ban as well. So the Tristana is left open. So Jhin is gone, Tristana's left open. So they do believe that the Lulu was the problem, and we might get a Mumu first pick one more time.
Yeah, looks like Madly Mediocre also going, yeah, that Amumu was really strong. Amumu is such a strong champion right now. Looks like they
Mumu,
prefer the Amumu to the Kale. Kale is now left open as well as Malphite. We'll have to see whether either of those power picks does get picked up here. Kale is something any of your players can play, Kale is something you should probably pick up.
Kale is one of the best free wins you could possibly get in this patch. All you need to get to that high level, and you will potentially win the game. But we might just get an Akali pick instead. It's a very, very bold blind pick. It's not necessarily one of the better champions, but it's also very solid, especially in the hands of
someone that knows what they're doing.
a very good.
Akali was banned last time, so
Akali was banned last time, so now he's just going to pick it up. He's not going to let it get banned this time. He wants it. He wants to dominate the game. He wants to show that he is a good player and a good mid laner, and nobody
and you
can blame
mentioned
for
the
that.
Kayn, so we will be getting to see a Kayn this game. Whose hands it will go into, we cannot be too sure as of yet. Samira being picked up did make its way through the ban phase. Looks like they do not want that Tristana again, instead opting for the Samira. And
Looks like
Fizz.
we're getting the assassin matchups in the mid lane. That's going to be very explosive, and I can't wait to see that. They're going to trade kills level 2, or even someone's going to get a first blood in that mid lane, and if they don't, then I don't know what. Then I don't know what I'm expecting. But so far, Mad has a very, very strong team. They've got 3 really, really strong picks, along with the Mumu, Samira, and Fizz. And I feel like there's not much, unless Young Project decide to completely smurf the draft right now. And there's a Cho'Gath pick. That's very
They pick up the
solid.
Cho'Gath. Yep,
They pick up the
solid
Cho'Gath.
front line. A lot of damage will bring you some extra magic damage in case that's something you want. They choose to ban away the Malphite.
That is what they lacked last game. They lacked more solid front line. The question is, though, is that Kayn going to be red Kayn, or is he going to go blue Kayn?
yes, we have to wait and see. Madly Mediocre here might choose to ban out some of the ADCs. They did already ban the Kai'Sa, maybe they're not too scared of anything else. They did not like seeing the Morgana, so they choose to ban that away.
We have we have Hal Flame saying it's probably a red cane. Now I do want to believe that, but this is Coral. Anything can happen. You may see a blue cane into a full tanky team. That is a very big possibility. So I don't like to assume unless I see it, because for all I know, I will be wrong.
Leona banned away, a very CC heavy champion, very good pairing with Samira. I don't think that's too surprising. It does leave open the Nautilus and a few other potential big picks. Caitlyn being banned away, that was just what I make played last game. So they're saying, well, you know what? We know you go to the Caitlyn if we ban away your Kai'Sa, so we'll just ban that away as well. What's your third pick?
Caitlyn Morgana gone from that bot lane. It's very interesting to pick to ban, especially knowing, you know, that they could just pick something. They could have picked probably Morgana themselves or forced a separate pick.
The
But that's an
Ashe?
Ashe lock-in. That's gonna be one of, you know, the picks that that bot laner plays or not. It
So
is.
that's very big pick potential, a lot of utility coming in. For people wondering what elo this is, yes, we are currently, this is in the lower bracket, River Division, so we are looking at around gold to low plat level of gameplay here. So don't expect some amazing top of tier, top of the line map rotations or anything.
I will still flame, but they can flame me for all they want. That's cool.
It's fine. Oh, the
I
Pantheon. I love Pantheon support. Let's go.
We have an explosive team
I don't know if
from
it's still any
Madly Media.
good.
It is, but it is not auto win anymore. Um, However, with two really powerful supports being banned out in Leona and Morgana and Lulu, we might see something probably like an Alistair or maybe even a Nautilus come out. And there's, as I said, there's the Nautilus coming out.
The
Not sure if that is exactly the best pick into a Pantheon, as obviously, unless he starts Q level 1, he can't really do much if a Pantheon stuns his AD carry. But I doubt they're going to go for a really strong level 1 trade.
Yeah, there's
As
not too much you can really ever do into the Pantheon. Um,
I'm going to
so
expect heavy roams from both of these bot lanes, especially with a volatile mid lane that they have, a Kali into a Fizz. This is where the game will be decided who's the stronger assassin. I feel like this game is going to be more decisive on who's the better team this time around, or who's the better mid laner this time around. Because then we'll be able to see who's got the prowess, who can obviously 1v1 each other better. I doubt that might happen. We might have Fiestas in mid lane again. But
yeah, let's find out. We wouldn't expect much to happen. Top lane, it's a Scion into a Cho'Gath. If a kill comes down, I expect it to be the Cho'Gath killing the Scion, but you can never be sure. In the mid lane, we have Fizz into a Kali, so a very volatile matchup. Either one could just get ahead and absolutely snowball the hell out of the other one. We've also got a very volatile matchup in this bot lane with the Samira Pantheon, who want to constantly be engaging. I would actually expect them to win the engages because there is not very good peel really from the side of Nautilus Ashe to actually get them off of it. Nautilus basically needs to instantly use that dredge line to interrupt the Pantheon's jump. If he doesn't manage to do that, then that should be a fairly simple kill being picked up because that's a lot of CC that can be layered down just from the Pantheon stun into the Samira passive.
Pre-6, I'm expecting a lot of pressure being put down for on the Young Prodigy's bot lane. Samira, Pantheon, they're more likely to just going to push that lane in, look for that priority so they can help their jungler get through those early levels, get to his items quicker so they can dominate, unlike the last game where the Amumu was very, very, very hesitant on whether he should scale to his items, scale to his level 6, and then help his laners. The lanes didn't really exactly help him to do that. I'm expecting Mad to understand the win condition that they have with this Amumu and allow him to get to his power spike and play around him so that they can easily win those team fights when they come to them. Whereas obviously throwing those leads or throwing their potential advantage that they may have over the opposing team. Top lane's just going to be a tank fiesta, as they always are. They're just going to slap each other. Might see some kills, we might not. Depends who screws up first. But I'm hoping for a good game. I'm hoping for a cleaner game from both teams. I'm pretty sure both of them want to play this one better than the last one, and they want to prove to be the number one team. If Mad win this game, they will be at the top of the standings. I do believe they will be.
Yes, it is
top.
only week 1, so they will be joint top of the standings. It'll take a few weeks for us to really see how it's starting to layer itself out. Oh no, actually, they'll be solo at the top of the standings because we had the 1-1 from.
Yes, so we had a 1-1 from SAS and TLH.
Yes.
So they will be number one. If we don't, we'll have a 4-way tie for first place. That'd be very interesting to see how that plays out over the next coming weeks. Hopefully, in the next coming weeks, though, my own team is pausing next week, so we'll be watching from the sidelines every single team, and hopefully, once the weeks come back, I can play. Obviously, I was out with my team this week, unfortunately, but I can come back, and I personally want to take the first place, but we'll see how it goes. I don't want to be too cocky about that. We'll see how every week goes, and we do believe every opponent is pretty strong, especially against us. It's a very even league. As much as I'll flame people, it's an even league. We're all at the even footing here, but I do want to believe that my team will come out on top.
I'll let
That's
you
our goal
quickly run
anyway.
through runes and summoners, and I'll be back in just a second.
So nothing unstandard here. Of course, Amumu didn't opt for that Conqueror this game. Akali chose to Conqueror over Fleet Footwork into that matchup into Fizz. Obviously, it's a melee matchup. She feels like she's going to get more power out of it. I'm surprised Pantheon's going with the Conqueror, maybe over PTA. Maybe he feels like he'll get more value out of it, especially on those tankier champions. We'll get more AD. He can definitely stack it very quickly with that Empowered W with a Q and E. Nothing not standard from anyone else. Everyone playing to the optimal ability. I mean, was definitely just going to go full tank, and so is Sion. So that's going to be a very, very hard bot lane. Very, very hard tank combo to chug through for that Ashe and for the Fizz, for the Akali. And we're getting in game. I'm hoping Gabblit is back because I'm not the one controlling the camera. Very, very bad timing to go. I am playing in the same bracket these teams are playing. So I play on SAS Desert. However, I didn't have time to play this week, so I will play in week 3. If I have time, I should. So you'll be able to see me on stream if it's streamed in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, I believe. Yep. And then you guys can flame me all you want. As we can, Mad is doing the same thing they did last game. However, they aren't trying it with the top lane. They're trying to catch the Cho'Gath or anybody. However, both Cho'Gath and Kayn are stacking in the same position, and both everyone else on the side of Young, they're just watching spots that they normally believe they should be watching. However, Mad seems to be they're creeping up behind. They're trying to cheese another level 1. This time it's much stronger. Cho'Gath notices them. It's a bit too late.
Simi rolling gets the stun into the triple hit, and that will be one dead. Cho'Gath does not choose to use his flash. The kill is donated over to Slugs on this Samira.
That is a very, very sloppy level 1.
Sin does stop his back, and this might just be another kill going over. I'm not sure he really wanted to do that flash over the wall to follow up from Lee Simi Roland to take that extra kill. That's
not the best start. Young Prodigies wants to see. Mad Mediocre wants to show that they are the better team from the get-go. Of course, Cho'Gath was watching the wrong side. He was watching the entrance with Kayn instead of watching his.
Oh my! It looks like top A support might actually be coming back here. Tries to steal it, but it is smited away by Red Husky, and that's yet another kill going over.
I'm calling game over. I'm calling game over.
They do get the
Oh,
dredge line onto Slugs in this bottom lane, manage to force out the flash there, flashing forwards themselves, doing what they can. Slugs will just about
why?
live.
Ash didn't flash. That was a free kill. What's going on?
I think she thought they had that kill. Very
Level one
unfortunate.
ignite isn't this powerful. They had. I mean, this is a game of free kills. You know, Mad is very executing those plays very well, and I think Young Prodigies felt like they didn't have the damage there, or they had the damage. Snails has to be very careful now under this tower, but he cannot be killed. He can just be poked a little bit. Ash still has both her sums, which I don't understand. That was a free kill. You know, that was an advantage.
Sometimes this happens. Sometimes people overestimate their damage. Don't flash to pick up the extra kill. It's worth noting if Ash does lose her flash, probably just chain die to the Pantheon engagers. So it could also be a little bit of a, you know what, I know I need this flash up. Nice stun coming back from the Chosen Beast there. They're putting a lot of damage down into Simi rolling. Nice block from Slugs using the W. Does mean he's taken W second. Actually a very good turnaround there from the side of Young Prodigy. Slugs just not really being able to put down too much damage this early on.
The bot lane is holding this game. They want to show that that was just a mistake. That first game was just a mistake in action. They want to show they are the better bot lane, and they want to prove that right now in this game. However, Amumu seems to be.
There's a fight in the mid lane here. Christensen and Young Skeng both getting, well, not too low in the end. There was a fight over the scuttle. Red Husky is on his own here, fighting against the Kayn in a 1v1. He is taken down to just over 300 health. The W does come out from the Ash, flashes over the wall to join up with the rest of his team, and there's a sandwich coming out here. Young Prodigy, it's a 4v4. They do have the level advantage on their members. Looks like Madly Mediocre will just walk out of this one alive.
Yes, they will. They're very much coming out of that one alive. Fizz opted to try and help his team. So did the Carly.
Is zoning off here. The heal is thrown down from the Young Prodigies. iMake does walk a little too far forwards, has to flash backwards. It's on just over 200 health, 100 health left, 50 health left. Simi rolling, trying to go in, trying to get something, but he just can't pick it up. The Q from the Samira does not quite have the range to finish off that kill. iMake is very low under this tower. And our spectator cam really loves the top lane.
Yeah, we want to see what happens in that slapfest. Right now, the Cho'Gath has a slight advantage in that lane. He's trading very well, and he's pushing that Sion in. They're even on CS though, so nothing's crazy's happening. They're surviving. They're doing tank things.
It's an interesting point here with the ignite off of cooldown. Simi rolling could choose to just trade his life here to stop the Ash from being able to CS a wave. He could just choose to go in, guarantee his kill with the W ignite Q. Oh, he does try to go in on the wrong target there. Goes on to Nautilus, and that's 2 kills going straight over.
And that's a little bit of greed right there. They could have pushed that wave in back to reset, got those items that they got some items, built up an advantage, knowing that the Ash has a slight CS lead, but she missed those few that kill at the beginning, so they could have, and they've blown their flash, so they could have very much reset after that little skirmish they had underneath that tower, got their items, and slowly built up that lead so they can get stronger.
Kristen going in for this fight, but he is only level 5 to the level 6 of the Akali. Will choose to back out of that one. Meanwhile, in top lane, tanks are doing tank things.
Cho'Gath hasn't backed yet once.
Yeah.
He is on it. The wave is pushing into him, so if he backs right now, he's going to lose a lot of minions. So that is very disadvantageous for him.
Japoy there actually just took so much damage from the wave that he heavily lost the trade.
He's still yet to use his ultimate. He's not using that ability efficiently, and we've got Husky here on the dragon clearing the ward.
Looks like he's
probably
saving it for something. I'm not really sure what. This early in the game, you may as well just ult a minion and get it on cooldown. He shouldn't be expecting to ult, and now he's going to recall. Now he's going to waste more time
on that cooldown, on that R cooldown. He should just eat a minion and back by the time he's in lane. He would have it back up again.
Meanwhile,
So he
Madly
can.
Mediocre do pick up that Drake in the bottom side of the map. Chosen is looking for something here. They do have the Kayn as backup. Lisimi rolling taken extremely low already. Does flash away, but it's not enough and he will get picked up, and that does go into the pockets of the Kayn.
Can we call? Do we call that a flash prediction or, or just a reaction? I feel like he was predicting that he's gonna flash that way, or he straight up missed. Very, very possibly could be a thing. However, that was a very good play from Young Prodigy. They seem to identify that the bot lane is the best place for them to go.
We do have an interesting build coming out on the Pantheon. I see a Sheen. Not something you tend to see picked up too much on Pantheon. But maybe in this new meta, Sheen is good on Pantheon. Who knows? I don't think it is.
No, neither do I. I think I'm not sure what people rush on him at the moment, especially in the support position. But I'm pretty sure they do not want to. Might be trying to get a Sheen for that extra damage in the early game, but I do know that as an item, I believe
the AD would end up giving you more damage because of all of your scalings.
Definitely the serrated dirk, even the double longsword would have been better in this situation. I feel like going for the eclipse would grant them, of course, more power for the champion that he's playing.
I am also personally a believer in the press the attack Pantheon. I don't like the Conqueror Pantheon too much. Yes, it does give you a bit more of that scaling, but you're not picking Pantheon for his scaling. If you're at the point of the game where you really need that Conqueror, it's got too late in the game.
I'm yet waiting seeing a Akali to all in somebody. She had plenty of opportunities to try and snowball him, but clearly she just doesn't want to take any risks, and that's okay. She's just farming up very nicely, building up a lead on that Fizz. As you call, she's gapping that mid lane, building up that kingdom, and hopefully maybe she'll be able to take over the game with her gold advantage on the Fizz.
The fish is used on the Akali. Into a nice bandage toss. Youngsking is trying to get out of that. Does use R1 of the ultimates. Flashes away. Christensen flashes to follow. R2 also used to get further away. Ticking is going down. It's not enough. And there's why the Cho'Gath ult was saved. Ultimate goes down. He does feast on that. Red Husky is doing what he can. The Kayn ultimate also comes out. Red Husky on just over 100 health is picked up in return. A nice cancel for with the silence there onto top.
They are going to keep on
trying to escape on this Sion. Youngsking is hanging around, but there's not too much he will be able to do in this. Tamira did take it back. That's a nice stop there onto the Nautilus. There's a lot of CC throw down into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Lisimi rolling taken extremely low, puts the Ignite down onto the Nautilus. Heal is put down to heal him up. Will it be enough? No, the last tick of the Ignite is able to pick up Nautilus.
Very a lot of action. A lot of action in the past 2 minutes. We have a great engage on Akali, but unfortunately both the Cho'Gath and the Kayn were there to save the day. Perfect getaway from the Akali, I do have to say. The Amumu very much could have ulted while she was in Shroud. That would have stuck her in place. She wouldn't be able to get out using her ultimate. So that was definitely a one mistake there. She also
bursted. Is going in for this. The ultimate thrown down from the Pantheon. Flash forwards into Dreadline from Chosen Beast. It does not connect. And that is flashed down on the Nautilus.
That was a very much he was expecting Pantheon to just all in.
Jetboy is going for this 1v1. He sees the Sion is low. Beast. He's using his Whirlpool Spikes as best as he can. Flashes forwards into the E, into the ultimates to just pick up that solo kill in the tank lane. There's been more kills in the tank lane than in the assassin lane. And here's a 3v3 in the bottom lane. iMake is already extremely low. It is picked up. The ultimate comes out from 1, from 2, and that is a triple kill over to the blue team. 2 of those kills did go into Pantheon. Not the person you most want it into, but still take it.
Pantheon has to scale. He has to get his... What is he? It looks like he's building the old Trinity Force. I just looked at it instantly, thought he's building Trinity Force, but he is not. I'm not too sure what exactly he's looking for. But of course, that was a very, very good fight from Mad to bring themselves back into that bot lane to get a bit more gold onto that Pantheons or even onto that Samira so they can try and take over the rest of the game as Obviously, the mid lane is very, very, very stagnant, but that Akali is getting ahead with her 30 CS, nearly 30 CS lead on that Fizz.
30 CS lead. Despite all the kills going down, it is 77 kills, only a 1 Drake difference. Overall, about a 1,500 gold difference. Young Prodigies now looking to pick up this Drake in return. Early Mountain Drakes, pretty useful. Single Mountain Drakes, always useful just to have that extra 1 or 2 armor, especially when you're into teams that are very bursty in a current meta like this, where it's all about burst. That extra 1 to 2 armor and MR could actually make all the difference.
It seems like we're getting the exact same. Oh no, we're getting Ocean. We got Cloud and Mountain last game. We're getting Cloud and Mountain Ocean this time. So that's going to be very, very good for both teams. Both Kane and Cho'Gath and on the other side Sion and Amumu will want to grab that Ocean Soul, and frankly, whichever tank has the Ocean Soul, they're going to be unkillable at the end of the game. So.
Oh, and the dredge line is thrown down onto Slugs. He tries to use the W to stop it, does manage to get away from the Enchanted Crystal area, was stunned up. The Amumu ultimate does come out. They are going onto the Kayn first. They do take Kayn out, and it is now a 2v3. iMake is doing what he can with the Chosen to back him up, but they just can't really do anything there. Another double kill going into the pockets of the Pantheon. They're really forcing this bot lane ahead.
That was a triple kill for the Pantheon. Not too sure exactly what the bot lane of Young Prodigies were looking for there. Samira E'd away from that ultimate, from Ashe ultimate, it still hit her. That's a very questionable hitbox for the ult as it hit her as she E'd away. However, Amumu was there, and Amumu turned just to fight around with just a single ult, and that was just it. That was the end of the fight.
Yes, for those who don't know, the but there's another engage in this bottom lane. Kayn and Nautilus want to take this 2v2. Amumu is still around though, and will come. Slugs does flash away after the Kayn ult comes out. Kayn is now getting very low, is picked up, and that's a kill into the Samira. Finally, she gets a second kill.
This
Ultimate
looks
going
like
down from Panth, and it will just pick up. Nope, there's a double kill going onto Slugs. Red Husky wants to keep following this up under the tower. It's taking a lot of damage. TP does come in, and Japoy is also here.
That a little bit.
They're trying to get out now, but Madly Mediocre are just falling down. That's a massive bounty on the Pantheon. Who will they give it to? Cho'Gath does chomp down, says, you know what? I want this gold.
He feasts that 900 gold from the Pantheon. He is going to spend that money on more tank items so that he's more unkillable. But the Akali picks up those crucial kills she needs. That could be very big in swaying this game. It's only Pantheon really is the strongest member on the team. He's picked up all of the kills so far in both bot lane duels, and that could end as a disaster for Mad in the end. Samira's lacking kills. Amumu doesn't necessarily need kills, but putting all those kills on Pantheon when he eventually will stop being useful around the 30-minute mark isn't the best, but the Sion takes that top tower, and Kayn just seems to be running it down every lane.
Level 7. Nice interrupt on the knock-up from the Sion, but not really going to mean much. The fish is thrown down in that middle lane. Christensen's doing what he can to flash away from Skeng. He's trying to get out of this. Will get away. Flash was burnt, though.
Flash for ultimate, that was, but losing Flash on Akali doesn't mean much.
Jump forward from Pantheon. They want to get this kill onto Japoy. That is a 200 gold bounty. Flash forwards from Red Husky. There is the juggle from the Samira. They're following him under the tower. Red Husky is tanking the tower. They're slowly ticking down. Bandage toss into the knock-up from the Sion, and that will eventually get picked up.
For the Amumu. That's 1,000 gold for the Amumu. That is a big shutdown.
Kayn is waiting for this. Gets a little bit of poke, but not much else. Meanwhile, the bot lane for the side of Young Prodigies has just been pushing. They got past that first tower. They are onto the second tower.
Unfortunately, we're seeing Kayn here. Unfortunately, he's sitting on a Sheen as well. What is the fascination with Sheen as an item? Is that a build for Divine Sunderer? Is that the build path for that specific item?
I have no idea. They're trying to repeat this onto Young Skeng. Lee Simi Roland coming in for that gank, but he will just get out. He is a very slippery Akali.
We've
Ocean
got both.
Drake coming up very soon.
So far, we're waiting
Lee Simi
only
Rolling
on.
gets the stun onto Young Skeng, will put a little bit of damage down. The fish is thrown out but won't connect. Lee Simi Rolling chasing under this tower. Does put the ignite down. That tick should be able to pick him up. Fizz does get the kill and flashes away over the wall. Yeah, I mean, you do prefer the gold into the Fizz. He did have to use his flash for it.
That was very much worth picking up that Akali, evening out the gold spread between both of them. He's still 30 CS behind. However, he's getting some of that gold back in kills. He can get some pressure down on the mid lane. He can possibly swap to the side lane so he can safely lane and without having the interruption from both sides of the map.
There will be a fight around this Drake. The engage from the Pantheon. Knockup goes down. It's a 4v4. A lot of CCs coming out. Kane is doing what he can from the side. The Amumu ult goes down. Chosen Beast is very low already. That's one down. The Pantheon ult comes in. He's onto Imek in this back line. Pantheon doing what he can in the back. Jipoy will walk out of this on almost no health, but he does leave his Kane to die. And that will be a dragon picked up in the end for the side of Madly Mediocre, putting them on their second Drake.
The Kane is trying anything to get this game back under their control. Young, half the Akali on the Young side wasn't ready for that team fight. She was not there to take part as arguably being one of the stronger members, along with Cho'Gath being the strongest member. Unfortunately, they lose that team fight and they lose Dragon, and now the ocean stack begins for Mad.
Yeah, imagine the 3 Ocean Soul. Ooh, that is going to be absolutely brutal. If they had that 1 Earth Drake as well, oh my god, they would be actually unkillable.
The moment Amumu hits level 11, I feel like the jungle game is going to be over. He's just going to rapidly gain those levels. He's going to get that. He's going to increase the jungle gap between him and the Kane. And I think like that's just going to slowly whittle the game out for the young prodigies. They don't really have much to fall back on right now. Ashe is very far away from being able to kill that front line. The Akali has only got 1 item under her belt. She's not going to be able to kill Sion or Amumu. And Samira's just Samira, so she'll just kill everything. Apart from Cho'Gath. She'll kill everything apart from Cho'Gath. And that's all. That's the only. They just have to kill 2 players on the side of Young, and they can win any team fight. I am surprised that the gold lead is only 2k.
It's only a 2k gold lead for the side of Mad right now. Most of that gold as well is stacked up on the Pantheon, so the longer the game goes, the harder it is going to get for Madly Mediocre to keep winning these fights. Red Husky has found Chosen in this jungle, though. He will try and do what damage he can to the Nautilus. Nautilus is just going to end up walking out of that one, though, completely fine.
Tanks, by the way.
Tanks, by the way. Flash forward from Lee Simi Rollin, really feeling himself here, but not much he can do. 5 members of Young Prodigies are coming here. They want to pick up these kills. The double knock-up from the Nautilus, flash away from Slugs. He's trying to get out, uses the W, tries to stop whatever he can. Young Skeng following up, does manage to pick up that kill. Now it's Amumu in the 1v5. There is support coming from the top lane from Christensen. He is doing what he can. Chosen Beast might just die to the tick damage here. He does. Christensen picking up the Kane on the backside. He's now in the 1v2, but there's not much he can do there. Does get chomped down by the Cho'Gath. Meanwhile...
And we are getting a repeat of last game. Mad gets 2 ahead of themselves, and they lose their lead in a crucial team fight. They still keep that 2k gold lead. Sion is taking that top lane tower, increasing the lead to 3k, nearly 3k now, the 300 gold off that. However, crucial gold got picked up on the side of Young Prodigy, so they can try and finish those items. The Ashe safely fighting that through her, but she doesn't pick up a kill, unfortunately.
Oh, and here's the ultimate in from the Pantheon. Sion is also using the train to get here towards Imek. A nice ward into that bush allows Pantheon to jump over the wall. He's putting the damage down. Will they give this kill? It looks like they're going to give it over to the Sion. Make sure they stop funneling gold into that Pantheon before he really starts to drop off the face of the earth. I like that when teams are actually putting the gold into the members that matter, or at least trying to put them into the members that matter more. And now Madly Mediocre have turned onto this Baron knowing that there's no enemy AD carry. There is of course the chance it could be stolen, but it doesn't look like Young Prodigies even know this is happening. Or if they do, they're content to just let it go. So that is a Baron picked up, and we'll have to see what they can do with this Baron. About a 3,000 gold difference just here.
Just about, but I'm expecting this power play to increase that gold lead. Mad needs to look to get those towers. They need to look to
Try and
probably
break the
not
base here if
try
possible.
and break the base. The
I make is back up. They
young
saw Cho'Gath bot lane. They saw. I'm not sure if they saw Kane towards the top side, but it looks like they are going to go for this tower.
young prodigies were not ready
Demolish.
for this
Oof.
push. They're not ready for this push.
But there is
Also,
5 here now from Young Prodigies. They might choose to take this fight. Looks like Madly Mediocre really want to get this inhib down. They're pushing forwards. There's a bandage toss. Flash forwards into the Amumu ult. He's onto the Ashe. He's trying to do what he can. There's not enough peel. The Ashe goes down. That's one carry down for the side of Young Prodigies. The Kane is in the backline doing what he can, but he does not have the damage. He also falls. Akali is really low, having to get out of this fight. Chosen is picked up on the backside. It's Jepoe left to try and get away. Curly, he does turn around, get the chomp onto the Scion. Oh my god, and into the tower, into the fountain he goes.
what is going on?
Scion, meanwhile, did also die, does manage to pick up one tower in return. Akali now on full health, though, should be able to pick up this kill very easy. Looks like they're going to try and give it over to her.
Cho'Gath and Akali just saving the game there, trying to salvage whatever's left of the game. There's a dragon spawning in just a few seconds, and just Samira being alive for that one. She's going to try and burst it down really quick, but Young Prodigies is collapsing on that dragon.
Looks
Or
like
she is not. She's
trying to just stay
trying,
invisible. Might
trying
go
to
for a
hope they're not
steal.
checking. They're not going to check that bush. That may have given it away
Throws
that
a
she's
ward into the bush. It's a blue trinket, so it could be from anywhere.
There's nothing.
Size not worth it. It is only
not
the
worth-
third potential Drake for the side of Madly Mediocre, the second actual Drake for the side of Young Prodigies. So, not really worth giving over 300 gold to attempt to steal, especially when you are not the jungler.
That's very much. I have a feeling we might slowly be getting a repeat of last game. The same happened before. Mad just getting too eager multiple times, allowing Young Prodigies to come back somewhat into the game. Maybe the same happens this time and Young Prodigies can actually capitalize on it. However, I do feel like the combo of a Mumu and Scion and Samira might be just too strong with that Fizz ultimate being able to just pop the backline very easily.
Yeah, Amumu has really been on point here, catching out Ashe pretty much every fight and just assassinating her straight away. And then it's just a case of the cleanup with the main damage threat really gone from the side of Young Prodigies. The Akali can do damage, but she can't burst 5 people out at once. A dredge line comes out from Chosen. Does not manage to hit anyone. Looks like Young Prodigies will go for this mid lane tower. Fish is thrown down. It does interrupt the Nautilus dredge line. Scion ultimate is thrown down towards this mid lane. A teamfight is going to break out here. Double knock up from the Amumu ultimate. iMake is doing what he can. Puts down the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. He's out of mana. Flash is coming out from the side of Young Prodigy. He's trying to get out of this. The Simi Rolling is also coming in. Jepoe is trying to do the 1v3 here. Chosen will just get picked up on the backside. Jepoe also getting picked up in that mid lane, leaving iMake all alone to try and save the base in a 1v5, and that should just be the game.
Mad is just too big at this point. They're too strong for Young Prodigies to take. They should be more careful of that flank by that Scion. That Scion flank with his ultimate was near enough picture perfect. Catches that backline and allows the rest of his team to just capitalize and win the rest of that team fight. And that's going to be game. That's going to be 2-0. Oh, is it? No, that's going to be 2-0
back
probably
up, but
for the Mad Dragons.
Here we go. They're going to try, do their best, but there's not much you can really do there. Game will end at 2-0 to the side of Madly Mediocre. That second game looking a little bit cleaner than the first for them.
A little
but
bit
still
better.
quite scrappy. And let me swap over to the client so you guys can see what's going on.
I think a talk about MVPs this game is a little bit more easier in my opinion. I'll probably just start this off straight away. We just gotta say the Cho'Gath tried to 1v9 that game really, really hard. He was doing as much as he can, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough this time. And he falls to, I would say, the MVP this game. Husky on that Amumu, it was everywhere. He was simply everywhere. He was where he needed to be. He was starting every single fight as he needed. He was flash ulting that backline every time he could, and simply put, he did the most damage. So it's not just the most damage players become MVP, but simply this time these two players were the standouts, at least in this game.
Yeah, I'd fully agree with you there. I'd say also you do got to give a little bit of props to the Pantheon plays from Lee Simi Roland. I don't think we've seen him
Pantheon,
play Pantheon before, and
Pantheon, of
honestly,
course, the crucial pick there.
pretty solid game. Did put them ahead in that bottom lane. There were a few int moments, but you
And
can
we
expect
expect
those.
those. We expect
We
those.
expect those.
I would put Pantheon very close to that MVP spot. I just feel like the Amumu with his Pantheon, his positioning, and his engages in those team fights was very very good. And is probably one of the what won them the game in my opinion. Uh,
Yes, if you want to give a um, vote on who you think the MVP should be from that game, throw it into the chat. I don't have affiliate because I've not bothered filling in all the crap you have to fill in first. So I can't give you a nice poll to vote in. But there we go. So we did potentially have a second game. However, that's going to have to be vodcast in the end. Um, they did it at the same time, so we will go and go back and vodcast that when we get the chance to. We're now just getting all of the follows coming out. Thank you to everyone that followed. I can't say everyone's names because I don't actually know like half of the ones that followed partway through. So we'll see. But yeah, to everyone that did drop a follow, thank you, thank you. Uh, there will, of course, be more games whenever we can, whenever we get them. I'm just trying to sort out the standings page. It's not wanting
you
to
you are being asked to sing for Mr. Man for their birthday.
sing for Mr. Man. Oh God, I forgot we talked about that. You know what? We'll do it when we do the vodcast. That makes sense. We'll do it with when the game's going on. Um, just trying to sort out. You know what? That'll have to do for the that, and then we'll bring up our standings table, which I have very briefly fixed up so we can see how the league is currently standing before we have that last game from the Ocean League. Um, yeah, we do have the Guys in Real Life versus SAS Arctic, which will get cast at some point, probably tomorrow, probably not tomorrow. Depends whether Yuri can do tomorrow because I can't. Probably Tuesday, I guess. Um, So yeah, we will get round to casting that as soon as we can. This is how the tables look at the moment. Valkyrie 5 and World Genesis both had their break week in this first week, so won't be playing anyone or haven't got to play quite yet. Um, of course, SAS Desert and TRH having our first ever 1-1 tie. Two very close teams. I think we might have a very close River League this season, so very exciting, especially since we have quite a few new teams or new people. If you don't know about the Discord, we have a Discord for all of this. And let me go and grab a link to it. Or there is a link down here, I think. In fact, there's actually a link in my descriptions because I am very prepared. There is a link to the Discord if you want to come and join the Discord and potentially join a team for next season whenever we do one. It's probably going to be next year, but come drop a follow if you want to see more. Also, go check out the main channel. We usually stream it on. Uh,
Quick link plug.
yes. I am not very prepared. There we go. There's the main channel. We usually stream it on. I have the VODs now, so I can cast now, except I need to go in like half an hour. So unless you're saying both games are under like 15 minutes, then
and the champion selects are very quick.
well, we don't have champion select, so at least there's not that we
That is
need to do.
yes.
For both SAS Arctic and Guys in Real Life, if you have a time you would like it to be cast so that you can watch, then give me a shout. of when you would
I
prefer.
could suggest maybe a precast before one of the games for next week.
Oh, that might actually
That is
be a good
very much.
idea because I can work out exactly how much time we will need and make sure
Hmm.
that, yeah, that could
That
fit
could be a
quite well.
very depending on how uh, other games are scheduled. You could always just schedule around those games so that is there is more content for people to watch and enjoy.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Healthblade, I've answered in chat. I've told you what SAS stands for. I had to ask 4 times.
Slightly above synergy. Come on, guys.
Indeed.
You can
Yes.
remember this. Okay, yes. Thank you for coming and watching today. Thank you. Thank you for casting with me, Dubii.
No problem.
This was
It's my
Dubii's
pleasure.
first time casting. We will have him back again at some point. Um, Thanks to everyone for coming and watching. Thanks to all the players for playing, and we will see you all next time. Bye, guys.